a place I love called Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoking. Hey, what are you doing in my kitchen? Come on, aren't you supposed to be over in Studio B, Stage 4? You're the mad scientist, right? Well, this is my kitchen. Get out of my kitchen. Come on. What are you trying to do? Wreck everything? Gemini. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday's baking show. It's a little later getting started today because the crazy scientist, mad scientist, whatever his title is, or her title I should say, was on the wrong set. Over here with some kind of chemicals and contaminated my kitchen, or I was afraid they might have, and so had to scrub the whole thing down, get it ready, because you know how I am about being clean. So I've washed my hands, I scrubbed the counter, and we're ready to go here. So I think we can get started. The mad scientist found her way back to her own set and is busy over there doing whatever she does. She makes slimes and all kinds of weird concoctions. I guess that's why she's mad or happy or crazy or whatever it is. But anyway, she's not in my kitchen anymore and I'm happy. So let's get started. You probably noticed that before I chased her out of my kitchen, I was singing the state song of Tennessee. Whoop. That would be my oven telling me it's preheated. And that's what you need to do today for what we're making. Preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And you want to grease and lightly flour a bundt pan. So, if you don't know what a bundt pan is, that's a bundt pan. I don't know how big they are in Australia. Maybe they're bigger in Australia, but this is what we use in North America. So I somehow just picture Crocodile Dundee saying, "That's not a bundt pan, this is a bundt pan." Anyway, getting back to the topic here, I was singing Rocky Top, Tennessee, which is the state song of Tennessee. And the reason I was singing that is it was the first song that popped into my head for the southeastern U.S. because today we are going to make a southern sour cream pound cake. So there we go. There are other songs too. There's a few by the group Alabama, Dixieland Delight, anyway, but I chose Rocky Top, so there we go. So what we're going to do today to start with our southern sour cream pound cake is we need 3 cups of flour, multi-purpose flour, white flour. You can even use unbleached flour, just not multi-grain. So 3 cups of flour. We're going to mix our dry ingredients first, or most of them. We want 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, the kissing powder, the one that makes you pucker. So 1/4 of a teaspoon baking soda. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And the only other dry ingredient in this is sugar, but we'll put that in later. So we've got those in there. We need to blend them together. What we're making here is a kind of a mild self-rising flour. So if you don't have regular flour, but you do have self-rising flour, you could probably sneak by with 3 cups of that and omit the salt and the baking soda. Alrighty, but we're doing it the old-fashioned way. We're making it from scratch, and scratch is hard to find these days. So there we go. We've got those blended. Now we're going to just set them aside for a minute. Oh, better not get rid of that. I'm going to need that. And the next step we're going to do is we are going to take another bowl, and we're going to take, it's 1 cup of butter. Now, I believe in the U.S. your butter comes in 4 sticks to a pound, and 2 sticks is a cup. Half a pound is a cup. Up here our butter comes in 1 big chunk, 1 pound chunk, and we have to cut it. So if you're doing it here in Canada, just look at the lines on the package and it'll mark out 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, a cup, etc. And the packages we get are 2 cups. 2 cups to a pound of butter. There you go. I don't know how much a cup of butter costs in England. Maybe it's more than a pound. I don't know. That's a bad joke, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Anyway, on we go. We put our butter into the bowl. And our next ingredient we're going to add is 2½ cups of sugar. Whoa! Yeah, it's a sweet cake. I'm not using Splenda today. I haven't tried making this cake with Splenda. I don't know if that would work or not. I can't think why it wouldn't. So if you wanted to experiment, by all means do that. But I'm making this to send out to some people to enjoy, and so I'm going to use sugar. Not that I don't care about them, of course, but I want to make sure this cake turns out right. This isn't the time for me to experiment. So now we've got our cup of butter and our 2.5 cups of sugar together, and we're going to just blend those. Now you can, if you want to make this in a mix master, I probably would if I wasn't doing this on camera. It's just, and the butter, if you're doing it in mix master, it should be very, very soft. If you're doing it by hand, I recommend melting it. So you're just going to get that really creamed together well. And once that's creamed together, then what we can do is, sorry, lost my mind there for a minute. We are going to add the eggs. Now, this takes a lot of eggs. 6 eggs. So I've already gone ahead and shelled them and beaten them. The important thing to do is shell them because you don't want crunchies in your mix. And I move my spatula back here. So 6 eggs. And I shell them, and it's just easier if you beat them ahead of time rather than trying to beat them in the mix. So you can add those in. And then the name comes from the sour cream. So 1 cup of sour cream. Again, you could try light sour cream. I haven't tried that. It might work fine, it might not, I'm not sure. So something I might experiment with another time is using light cream and Splenda and make a diet form of this. We'll drop it from a huge number of calories per slice to a large number of calories per slice. Yeah, if you're on a really strict diet, you probably aren't going to be wanting to make this, unless it's to give to some friends to enjoy. So if you make your friends fat, then you feel thinner already, right? And they'll love you for doing it. Well, they'll love the cake anyway. Alrighty. So now we've got that in there, and now we'll just start mixing. And again, like I say, if you're on your own, you don't have to worry about sound and noises over your speaking. You can use a mix master, but I'm doing it the way our great-great-grandmothers used to do it, because they didn't have electric mix masters. Some of them might have had those funny things with you. Remember the egg beaters that you turn by hand? But to me, this is just as easy as cranking one of those things. Now, if I was Tim the Tool Man Taylor, I'd probably use my electric drill and a paint beater. We'll whip this around in no time. Anyway, you do that, you're going to end up with something that almost looks like a pale custard. I'm just going to tilt that. I don't know if you can see that from the camera or not, but you can see it's kind of a light yellow, a little more yellow than a heavy cream, but not bad. Now, the last wet ingredient we're going to add is 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now, if you want to change up the flavor a little bit, you could put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 teaspoon of rum extract, and you'd have a southern sour cream rum pound cake. And there we go. Put that in good. Now I'm going to switch from my spatula, my whisk, sorry. Spatula is here, this is a whisk. Oh, it's not a whisk, this is a whisk. There we go. Alright, because we are going to start adding the dry ingredients that we blended earlier. And you know me, I go to my trusty fork. So we'll just start sprinkling a little bit of that in. I put in maybe a 1/4 cup at a time and work it in. The nice thing by doing this with hand is you don't end up with a big cloud of flour in the air. If you're using your mix master to make this, add your flour slowly so that you don't get big puffs of flour. There's 2 reasons for that. One is it saves you from having to dust your kitchen afterwards, and the other is it'll make your mix master last longer because it's not sucking the powder of the flour into the electric motor, which can actually get in there and and burn out your motor after a while. So always consider that. I've never understood why they put the intake for the cooling on the motor for the Mixmaster on the front. It seems like it would be better on the top or on the back, so that it doesn't get sucked into the motor. But maybe they do it on purpose, so you'll have to buy a new Mixmaster sooner rather than later. I guess they won't turn themselves out of business, right? If you make the perfect Mixmasters that'll last forever, you're only going to sell so many units, and then people will stop buying because they've already got one. So, planned obsolescence. Well, so one nice thing with this cake is it's definitely going to be obsolete in, I would guess, less than 48 hours. And then I'll have to make another one if I need one. Gotta love food, you know. It's one of those things that you make and enjoy. I just wish it was the other way around. I wish you could make it quickly and then savor for a long time. But it seems like you spend hours in the kitchen and it's gone in minutes. But that's life. The age-old complaint of the first wife after her husband came back from slaying a dinosaur. Do you know how long it's going to take me to cook that thing? So we get a better really whipped up. You want to make sure you don't have any lumps. As soon as this batter is, even when it's done, you might, if you have a whisk attachment for your Mixmaster rather than the beaters, you might try using the whisks to blend this together. Because it's a pourable batter when it's done. It's not a dough. So the whisks might do a really good job of getting everything blended together and getting rid of the lumps. Now, I don't know if any of you saw the unboxing or opening video the other day when I got the mail call from Cindy and Savannah. And they were very gracious, and the baker's toque I have on my head, or chef's toque I have on my head, was a gift from them, along with 3 wooden spoons that have the name of my channel on them. Isn't that nice? They're too nice to use. I would feel terrible to use that. So I hope they don't mind. I'm going to hang them. I'm going to do a little display thing and hang it on my wall in my kitchen. But yeah, really nice. 3 of those. I've already started experimenting with a way to hang them on the wall. But anyway, that's maybe something for another show. Well, we'll get back to our cake here. So we're mixing in the last of the flour and the flour blend. So, before you started doing this, you have greased and lightly floured a butt pan and preheated your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. But before you did any of this, I know you were all very good, and you went and washed your hands. And speaking of which, in my last baking video, I did a fill in the blank, and I said the first person to answer would get a prize, and the first person to answer did indeed get a prize. They were pretty quick on the draw there. They were... my mind has gone blank. Kellee, I'm sorry. I will put the name of your channel at the bottom here, but I've drawn a blank at the moment. But anyway, Kellee, she does metal detecting and that, so I mailed her prize out to her. And then being this kind of guy I am, I did the same thing I did on my 250 draw giveaway. I decided I'd give away a second place. And that went to a very nice lady named Lori Alaschuk. And I haven't gotten that to her yet, but we'll do so here this week. All right, our batter is ready, our bundt pan is ready. So now comes the hard part. Putting it in the pan with 2 hands. Now see, if you have a helper, you can get them to turn the pan for you. Nice, kind of light yellow batter. Now when you put this in the pan, you don't have to do it backwards like I am. I'm just doing that so you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes it's easier to do things when nobody's watching, right? Although sometimes we get ourselves into mischief, so nobody's watching. So I have to behave myself in the kitchen, don't I? I can't get into mischief. I've got 370 viewers out there watching me. So, and thank you to all of you, by the way. I should say that. I appreciate you all watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. And Rowan's over there taking a nap. I'm not sure how he feels about it, but I'm sure if he could say something, he'd be quite happy to know you're watching today. I only have him in the kitchen when I'm cooking high fiber foods. That also was a bad joke. Alright, our cake is in the bundt pan. I'm just going to give it a shake around just to get it nice and evened out. And I can see I got a little bit up on the side there, so we'll just scrape that down. Now when you butter and grease and flour your bundt pan, make sure you get into all the nooks and crannies, because otherwise when you flip your cake out, you're going to have chunks missing. Alright, so we are now that this is all ready to go, it's fairly simple really. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ingredients before baking and then 1 after, so 9 ingredients total. And easy to do. As you see, I did it by hand. You can do it in the Mixmaster much faster. And now we are going to bake it in the oven. From the oven's preheated to 325 degrees, and we're going to bake it for an hour. So in it goes, and we will set the timer for 1 hour. All right. If you'd like to hang around and look at the stove for an hour, you can just hit the pause button there, and for the next 59 minutes and whatever seconds, you can look at the picture of my kitchen. Otherwise, I will pause the camera and come back when the cake is cooked. Alrighty, see you in a few minutes. Alright everyone, the timer is just finished. Letting us know our hour is up. And so we'll now take our handy dandy probe. And let's see if it's cooked. Let's check it in a couple of places there. And it comes out clean as a whistle, so we can turn the oven off. And take our cake out. And there we have our beautiful southern sour cream pound cake. Now that's, what I always like to do is just kind of give them a little shake, just to help loosen it up out of the pan, hopefully anyway. I didn't get it centered there very well, did I? I'm going to let it sit there, and I'm going to let it cool for just a little bit, because the cake will contract as it cools. The pan will too slightly, but it usually will come out of the pan a bit better that way. So let's let it cool for about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and take it out, and then we'll finish up. Pardon? What? So what? What's this? Oh, okay, thanks. Oh, what is a note here from the studio head? This is to inform you that the mad scientist has filed a formal complaint with the studio head because he says that crazy chef guy yelled at him. Well, too bad for him. Maybe next week I'll go over at his lab and sprinkle some flour around and see what happens to him, how he feels about that. But anyway, well, or she. I keep saying he, and it's actually a she. So, whoop, see, it bounces. But this, according to legend anyway, takes a pound. I think the original pound cake took a pound of flour and a pound of sugar and a pound of butter. So it was sort of worked that way. That's why it was called a pound cake. I don't know if that's the truth or not. Anyway, we will come back in a few minutes and we will get the cake out of the pan. Alrighty. Alright, we're back. We've let this sit for a few minutes to cool. It's still warm to the touch, but it should be alright. So we'll just maybe give it a little shake again here. You're going to get a few crumbs, that's fairly normal, just from around the edges. And off comes the top, and there we have our southern sour cream pound cake. Now, looks like we have a little crack along the edge there, but that's okay. It won't affect the taste. Nope, that's good. So how we're going to finish this off is we're going to take some confectioner sugar or powdered sugar, icing sugar, whichever term you prefer. And we're just going to sprinkle that around the top. You notice I put paper towel on the counter first. And the reason I do that is because then any powdered sugar that doesn't stay on the cake ends up on the paper towel. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a Southern sour cream pound cake. And you can invite your friends over for coffee or tea and serve that right up as it is, or if you prefer, you can add a little whipped cream on it, or however you want to serve it. But it's a lovely sweet cake. As you remember, it has 2.5 cups of sugar in it, so it's quite sweet. But I hope you'll try it and you'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Friday for the shout-outs and groaner of the week. Practice your groans now, because it'll be a good one. Take care, God bless, stay safe.